everyone, thank you. Sorry for the delay. You guys all got here. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and you can probably appreciate the traffic and construction and to get here. So we're going to have, we've graciously Tuan's given us some of his time to share some of his successes as a buyer specialist, and without further ado, I'm just going to pass it on.
Perfect.
And
Thanks.
do you need anything?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I brought paper copies.
Perfect.
Hi everybody. First of all, I want to apologize for my tardiness, a little bit of traffic and all that stuff. But so just tell you a little bit about myself, so you guys know where this information is coming from. My name is Tuan Tran. I've been in the business. I'm going on my 14th year now, so I just completed my 13th. I always start the story. The first 3 months of the business, I think I sold 3 houses, and then the next 3 months, I sold no houses. So it was just kind of like, okay, I think I probably needed some good practices, some good habits to learn a little bit about the business. So I joined the team. The team was called the Real Estate Guys. If you know Jamie Purvis or Carlos Gonza, they've been in the business for like 30 plus years. And so I got some really good training from them, and I got a lot of experience, and I was on their team for about 8 years as a buyer specialist. When I first started, it was kind of like buy or die type of mentality. I'm going to show you, seriously, I would show 100 homes, and just until they picked one, right? And I'm sure that that wasn't the best use of my time, but I got to learn a lot of inventory. And then, as you start to work with a little bit more buyers, we would carry between 8 and 12 buyers at a time. So to juggle all that, to show a buyer 20, 30 properties, that was difficult. So I had to learn some really best practice to really work with buyers. And so what I'm here to do, here to share with you today, there's no real hidden secret. A lot of the things that I'm going to be sharing right now is just stuff that I've actually used in training courses just like yourself right now, and and kind of tweak them a little bit when working with buyers. So this class is typically all about you, here to facilitate. So what are some of the questions, or this is going to be more of an open forum. What are some of the questions, or what are some of the challenges that you guys have working with buyers right now?
Oh, working with buyers. I actually came because it was advertised about open house conversion, because that's a place I've really struggled to convert. So
you want to know how to really focus on open houses.
Yeah.
What else?
Creating urgency.
Creating urgency. Fantastic. Okay. What else?
I think just conversion in general, whether it's open house, whether it's a sign call, whether
Okay.
it's a referral.
Well, I'm going to start. I'm going to do one step before that, before the conversion and stuff. Where do you find your buyers right now?
Referral.
Referrals.
social media.
Social media.
Open houses.
Open houses. So let's start. So I know. So we're kind of collecting buyers right now. So one of the things I like we want to be purposeful when we're running our businesses, whether we're working with our buyers or sellers, we want to be purposeful about it. Okay? So the first thing I want you to start thinking about is stop thinking like realtors and start thinking like business people, right? Are there service providers that only work with high-end appliances?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are there service providers that work with just like rental properties? Right? So the first things first is that before you can tailor your business to any buyer, because would you agree that a first-time condo buyer is going to be different from an investment buyer compared to a luxury buyer? Yes.
Yeah.
So instead of doing the jack of all trades, one of the things I want you to start focusing on is as we're learning, yes, you can be a jack of all trades initially because we just kind of take on what we can get. But I want you to be purposeful about like targeting and designing your business, right? So if you're going to do an open house, are you going to be doing any open houses? No, right? You shouldn't be, I don't think, right? If I'm looking for a move-up buyer, maybe I do want, you're going to look at a certain target market, a certain area, maybe townhouses. So I'll tell you, and the reason I started this is because when I started, I said, how could I make more money with less time? Like, everybody thinks this, right? So when I started, I said, okay, well, I'm 28. I was 28 at the time, and I said, Well, if I sell a house that's $1 million, that's like 2 sales of $500,000, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the things, and now I'm gonna get into our mindset a little bit around it. And so my mindset is like, but why would a $1 million buyer want to work with me? Right? I'm a kid, right? Ish at the time. Right? So what I did, I said, so where are the people with money? And at the time, I actually looked younger than I did even then. And so I had challenges with image. I did until I changed my mindset. So until I started talking to people and I started reading books and became an investor myself, I just said the investor clients had money. They had extra money. And they know people with money. So what I did was I learned a little bit about it. So what the first things first is what I would suggest is take a little bit of time and actually think about the type of clients that you want. And be purposeful about it. Now, you don't have to just gear your entire, you don't have to go a whole 180 in your business. But what you want to do is just like anything else, take 5% of your time and put it towards this niche market. So what I did was, so I can tell you right now, because I used to do this, at any given time in Toronto, there's between 20 to 45 multiplexes, duplexes, triplexes in Toronto. Legal, that's classified as, I'm not talking about the conversion stuff. So in the winter, you're going to probably be between 19 to 26, 28 most of the time. Right now, there might be about 35, 40, or it's probably, so all I need to do was focus on 40 properties or 25 at any given time. So I chose Fridays. So every Friday, I go up, what's on the market? Oh, that one's still in the market, that one's still in the market, that one's still in the market, right? And that allowed me to learn a little bit about that market. So if you're looking at the luxury market, since we are at portfolio, what are some of the things, and I always talk about value. Because we're always like, how do I get this? How do I go out and get this? I'm gonna switch it, and how are you gonna attract it? Right? Think about the best services that you've ever gotten in any industry. I'm going to use the restaurant industry, right? Are they marketing to you, or is it more word of mouth that comes in? You had a great experience. You know, this is somewhere I had great service. So you said, I'm going to bring my date there. I'm going to bring my spouse there. I'm going to bring my. It's going to be right. They attract you, right? Aren't there steaks that are $100 and there's steaks that are $20? Same steak-ish. Right? Right? But there's a whole service geared toward, it's about the experience. So understand that when you're working with any real estate clients, it's about that service, that experience that you're going to bring them. Buying a house and selling a house, buying a condo and selling the technical part, it's all the same, fairly similar. It is how you set up, how you prepare for it, how you service it, and your after service that creates that entire experience that's going to differentiate you from one realtor to the other. Does that make sense? Everything matters. So I would say, first and foremost, start to think about the clients that you want, start to think of what values they're looking for, and start to learn about them. And what's going to happen is that you're gonna start going and being in around those people. You're gonna your razz is gonna kick in, and you're gonna be like, for me, when I hear, accessory apartment or triplex, but when I hear anything more than 6, my brain shuts off, because I don't do more than 6 really. Okay, and so what I would do is be purposeful about that before we start getting into the conversions. Okay, any questions about that right now? I know, because we're all like, how do I service somebody? Well, how do you serve? Like, if you don't know who you're servicing, how can you service them first and foremost? Yes.
Have you ever done like a post-mortem with your clients? Like, do you ever do like a debrief and say, like, what did you like about working
Yeah, absolutely.
with me? what could I have done better, what could I have done differently?
100%, I love it. I love the postmortem because that's where you get your referrals. So we did two things, and the first thing when I was on the team, one of the things we used to send out is we would send out a survey, client satisfaction survey. It was sent out probably 2 weeks after they closed. Okay, and it was like 5 questions, right? How was your experience? Da, 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 da. And it was just like a 1 to 5. 5 being excellent, 1 being poor, right? So so either, and then it would have a so it was like a 1 to 5 rating. It had a what could we have done better or a commentary box, and then at the bottom we actually asked for referrals. Who do you know that was looking for it? And so that was a systemized post, you know.
And would you email it out or hard?
No, we mailed it out at the time.
Hard copy though.
We had a hard copy, and I say we would get about a 20% return rate. And of the actual, because we had a postage stamp at the time, and they would mail back. So we would include a return stamp with it.
Do you do that now?
No, something I should do though. It's one of those things like that.
You do it with like SurveyMonkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do it electronically, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things one of the reasons why I don't say I teach, because I think that one of the things I always say is that we all are licensed here. So I am like if we all went to a listing appointment or a buyer consultation, you are just as likely to get that client as me, because you guys have a license. I don't care how long you're in the business. If you say I'm a new agent, you're dead in the waters. Stop thinking you're a new agent. You're licensed. No, I'm being serious right now. Don't rest on your laurels. Don't do any of that stuff right now. You go to see a doctor. Do you ask how long they've been in the business? No, I'm actually not kidding.
Probably should.
You should. But all you care about, and you're gonna hear me use doctors and lawyers a lot, because I think that in our society they have a different perception than how we're perceived. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%, yes.
So why do they have that? However, if you actually know the business and work with clients like that, they are the same as us. Right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we question a doctor or a lawyer, even if they looked young or did something of that nature? It is why? I want you to stop thinking about real estate. Think of service providers right now. So how is your business? What's the perception of your business? How would you like that perception of your business to be? And what do you need to do or provide to get that perception? Because everything, my coach told me, like, my job is, like, what I do to make money is buy, sell real estate. But my job really is, yeah, no problem. My job really is expectation management. That's it. Right? Do we make the market?
No.
So what makes a person think that they got a good deal compared to a bad deal if 2 people pay the same price? It is the perception, the experience in which they do it. And so that's where you can get your referrals from. So I'm not going to get too technical about the actual real estate unless you want me to, because I can. What I'm going to do is when we're talking about working with buyers, is the experience and the environment that you create to create the perception of the value that you want to bring. Okay, so I'll start. So we started where are you finding your buyers? That's where you are you just kind of a receiver, or are you doing something purposeful about it and taking a direction into your business? Okay, so that's the first. I think out of everything else, that's the first place you need to start. Okay, see where you are right now. What do you have? You actually don't need a whole bunch of different things. You don't need a lot of technical things. You don't need a. I think what you need to know is what is the expectation of the average realtor out there. Do you meet that? It's not hard.
You have both.
Right? The average realtor, you probably need 4 things to be the average realtor. If they do any research on you, you need a website. Yes?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a good one. You can pay somebody for it. Okay? So if they go online, they need to be able to find your name. Number 2, you need a cell phone. To be, right? You need a way to get around. I actually know realtors who don't have cars.
Yeah.
I know a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I know a whole bunch that work just downtown
Downtown.
Real
Lisa,
estate
Yeah.
by bike.
and they don't drive at
The
all.
one I just did, yeah.
Yeah.
Harley Basinski.
Right?
Real estate by bike.
Yeah.
He's the guy that did
Oh,
that
yeah.
little yellow
Downtown.
house.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I just did a
that's
deal
hysterical.
with him, yeah.
And last but not least, you know, so you have your car, you have your cell phone, you have your website, and you need a license. That's it. That's the average realtor out there. The knowledge base and all that stuff, you can fake it till you make it. They don't know, because they don't know what you don't know. It's not, I don't know what I don't know. They don't know what you don't know. So don't, they're interviewing you, they're talking to you because it's yours to lose. You understand that right now? It's yours to lose. So now that we've established that, we're professionals now, right? At this point in time, everything moving forward is going to give you a better chance of closing, attracting, and working with buyers more efficiently. Okay? And understand that everything I'm telling you is best practice. Okay? So it doesn't happen. So you're going to say, what if I've had a client? I still have clients I have to show 30 homes to. Okay? But what I'm trying to tell you right now is that when I work with 10 clients, the average was like 50 homes to show those clients, right? Now, when I work with 10 clients, 8 of the 10 clients, I'm pretty sure it's between 6 to 8 homes before they make an offer. 1 to 2 showings max, right? So what's gonna happen right now, what I wanna talk to you about is your buying process. Your buying process. Put that down right now, because if you don't have a buying process, then you don't have anything to compare to, you have nothing to judge, you have nothing to tweak. Does that make sense? So if what does my buying process look like? What stages are there? Right? So if you have a buying process, this is going to give you some consistency because you might have a good month, right? In which somebody gave you a referral, and that referral gave you a referral, and that referral gave you a referral, and you just work them, and then the next month you don't have the same experience with another buyer. Right? You think, oh, man, that was awesome, I was good, I was busy. Right? But you don't know where to tweak, you don't know why you did it. I know exactly what makes why I went from 50 homes to 8 homes. I changed my standards. And a lot of the things when working with buyers, I'm going to tell right now, we've heard buyers are liars type of thing. I don't hear that much often anymore anyways. But that used to be the same when I got into the business way back when, right? It's not. Buyers aren't liars, it's just that you guys didn't ask enough deep questions.
Yeah.
You guys didn't dig deep enough.
Instead of quick qualification.
Yeah, so do you have standards so right now, so now we say we have buyers, right? Do you have the first thing that you need to do is have a standard for people that you're gonna work with? Even if you're like desperate right now. I'm gonna tell you this is probably one of the most important things. If I'm going to work with them, right, they need these things in place, right? I've dealt with high net worth individuals. They say, I'm good financially.
Yeah.
Right? I won't work with them if I don't get something on paper. Something from from their financial advisor, seeing their bank account. And I'll tell you what, that's one of my standards. I need something in writing. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I need something in writing. And there's 2 reasons for that. Yeah, they're qualified. For sure they're qualified. Or more than likely qualified. But sometimes the most qualified people can't get mortgages. They're over-leveraged. They don't know what they don't know. But think about this. If you ask somebody on a date and they didn't want to give you their names or their address to pick you up, you know, how good is that date going to be? But think about it.
Move on.
Same thing with lead generation and qualifying your buyers. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'm willing to sit with you. My name is Fred. You know, what's your last name? Just call me Fred. Right? They're already standoffish. What's that experience going to be? So from there, you have to do one of two things. Either A, you got to focus on working your skills to build rapport, to bring more value. So they tell you the last name, give you an email, and give you a phone number. Because you're buying a house, right? We're not buying it like something else. It's a house. Right? A home of some sort, something of significance. So you need something insignificant back. So the first thing goes to everything I'm going to talk about is taking responsibility for yourself right now. What are the standards that you have working with your buyers? What buyers are you looking for? Right? What do you need to receive back? So I absolutely need to have contact information. I absolutely need to get a full name. Right? I absolutely need for them to sit down with me. They have to sit down with me at some point in time before we, whether it's just after, maybe it's a sign call that I've qualified them on, right? And they sit down with me 45 minutes, but I am not just going to email them stuff. That means that they are not my buyer, they are a prospect. You can take them into your database, but I'm not going to waste any time with them. Because what happens is when you work with a buyer who is not motivated, unwilling, unable, is that they truly are taking your time and energy away from either finding one or working with one. And so what's happening right now when we work with buyers, people are like, I hate working with buyers because this. Right now you have a buyer that you want to ask me a specific question about, and I'm sure of it, or had a situation that you want to ask me about, and it just could have been you guys didn't qualify them right. You should have been working with them at that point in time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So have a standard. What are you expecting? So, right? I've changed in my standards with BRA. I'm going to tell you straight out. If I stood to that BRA standard, and so I'm going to apologize to leadership here and what the standard is, because everybody's going to tell you to do a BRA. And I would absolutely encourage it if you can get it done. The way my business has come, I have never enforced a BRA. Never enforced a BRA. I've been screwed. Don't get me, maybe in 13 years twice. I think my system's okay. And the reason why I don't, they do sign a BRA eventually. It's part and parcel of my process, but I don't get them to sign off right away.
Do they sign it when you make your first offer or before
You're
that?
supposed to.
They have to sign it.
Everybody
They have to sign it.
Of course, of course with an offer,
So my
sorry.
standard is that, so I'll tell you about my process at the end, and the BRA will be part of, so if you just keep that down, if I don't answer it, you guys can ask that question. So one of my standards is that they have to sit down with me, and it used to be at the office or no go. It used to be at the office, no go. I've laxed on that as well, and it's done well. So remember, it's kind of like it's like scripting, right? You got to memorize it first. What is it? Memorize, internalize, and customize, right? So my process, I've customized it a little bit, but what I'm going to tell you as best practice, have a standard that is memorized. So whatever the best practice of anybody in your office right now, I'm not going to say the brokerage. I'm going to say in your office, like. Not the entire KW, I'm saying in the office. Because if you can see them, touch them, feel them, right? Then it's somebody that you can model after. And the reason I say, especially in this office, you guys got some great agents in this office that you guys can model after. Okay? So what are some of the standards that you have right now? I'm going to throw it out to you. The people who are working with buyers. Do you have any standards? Who here has a they have to sit down for a buyer consult standard? Who here has a buyer consult?
Like a form?
No,
It's
just a face-to-face.
A face-to-face. Who here in their buyer consult actually have a schedule, a standard, a checklist of questions in their buyer consult? Put up your hands. So all that, it's half now. Who here has a
So
four?
questions, qualification questions is what you're saying?
What I'm talking about is, in your buyer consult, do you have a set of questions or a schedule that you follow to the T almost every time? Or do you wing it? Right? Or do you
You
kind
mean
of,
an agenda as to
an
go
agenda,
through, okay.
absolutely. Is it written out?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay, so one of the biggest ahas I had early in my career was if you don't have one and you've never create one.
We need to try to do that.
Okay, create the questions that you're going to ask, and they have to ask it, and you can start off at. I'm not sure if we're all KW agents here. If you're not, I think you know somebody at KW. There's pre-qual, you can go online, there's pre-qualification questions, right? You can use that for your buyer consult if you don't have it. Like just use all those questions, boom, 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 right? The reason why I want you guys to have a standard first is because when a doctor comes in, do they have a clipboard? Do they have, do you think that they've seen thousands of patients? But they still go through that clipboard, right? And what happens is that having an agenda doesn't make you less professional, it makes you actually more professional. And by doing that, it answers all the questions you have. You might be able to skip depending on how the conversation goes, but what happens is now you get the most, you will never miss the most pertinent questions in qualifying them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk a lot about my buyer consultation because my buyer consultation is where I got 90% of my success. Everything happens at my buyer consultation. If I don't do a buyer consultation, that 80% of conversion to close goes down to like 50-50 or even 20% if I don't sit down with them.
Do you have, I generally, when I'm meeting with clients for the first time or potential clients, I have like a package put together that I give to them. And then they...
This mine.
Okay.
Okay, I have two packages. I'll send it around. This is somebody that I took out the last name. This is actually, I need to update this, but my consult is in this package. So it talks about financing components. We talk about the financing components briefly. Then it goes to like all the boring stuff. So my script says, because I want you to pay attention to me. So your name is?
Nancy.
Nancy. So Nancy, one of the things that we can do is I prepared a buyer consult for you, right? Anything that we're going to talk about will be in this consult. It's actually good for two things. Number one, you can reference it, you can take notes if you want, but I really want to have that conversation with you, pay attention to me. And if you don't get a good night's sleep, just read 3 pages of this, and you'll fall right asleep. That's what I say.
Okay, no, that's pretty much the same.
It's a script, right? And so on here it has some needs analysis. It has the MLS district, has the needs analysis. This page, I'm going to pass this around. This has been my golden page. I got this from anybody. I went to a buyer mastery course of like 10 years ago, maybe longer, and there was a woman there by the name of Christina Wise. And she ran a team called the Good Life team, right? I'm not sure if she's with KW anymore. So I've been using this graph for 10 years, over. And this has been my magic. This has been my magic for showing and preparing, working with buyers. So I'll let you guys pass it around, take a look at it.
Take a...
Take whatever you want. It's all yours. None of it's mine. Just let you know, none of it's mine. I'm going to tell you right now, I am an idiot outside of what I memorize, internalize, and I get other people to customize it for me. Okay? So what's your process, what's your standard? So in your buyer consultation, what are some of the topics that you touch on? There should be 3 topics that you need to touch on.
Pre-approval.
Pre-approval, yep.
Timeline.
Timeline, yep.
Geographic location.
Yep.
Wants and needs.
Yep. So there's 3 questions you have to answer. Okay? Are they
selling something else?
Maybe. Yep. These are all, they all, I need to know, are they able, willing, able, ready, and willing, or able, willing, and ready? I think
Ready, willing, and
able. No, whatever it is. But it's those 3 questions, right? the pre-qualification is ability to, isn't it?
Yeah.
What can you buy? Right? And there's going to be standards to that as well. Right? Are you, so you're able to buy. I always go able first because I want to make sure that they're able, right? Before working with them. Because that's going to,
Yeah, why waste
now,
your time?
are you willing to buy? Yes, there's some sort of motivation there. Right? That goes to motivation. Now, hold on. The last one is where we all miss out on. Are they ready to buy? Just because you're willing doesn't mean you're ready. And ready goes to, oh, perfect, thank you. Ready goes to, what does ready relate to? Ready goes to, are they ready to accept the market as it is? Are they ready to work within your standards as as your client? Are they ready and prepared to and have a process on how to make an informed decision? Does that make sense? So ready is where everybody kind of messes up a little bit, because I'm not gonna. So in my buyer consult, it goes like this. I have a 4-parter. I can go real quick because it's memorized. I forward them at the very beginning. Ford, if you don't know what Ford is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. But what I'm really doing is not forwarding them. I'm dissing them, not disking. Disking when I do that. So why do I diss them? Because I want to be able to communicate. I want to know who I'm communicating to, and tailor that. That is right now. It's both the most important and the least important thing that you need to write down. It's going to be one of the two for you. If you have a process, it's going to be the most important thing. If you don't have a process, forget about this. Have a process first. Does that make sense? And have your process tailored to SC personalities. Information safety first, not for your clients, but for yourself. Okay? Because a lot of people feel when you service your client, you service your clients at how you make it good makes you feel first. You should be. If you don't feel good, there's something off. Have you ever worked with somebody that you didn't feel good with? How often do you close that deal?
Well, like I fired a client because I just couldn't.
Right?
It wasn't working.
Yeah, it's not worth it. If you're not feeling good, like I said, I bring everything to me first. I'm pretty self-centered. This is a pretty 20th century world out there, especially my business. And it's really important. Like when you're working, so get those spidey senses out. If something's not right, if they didn't provide you something you needed, if they didn't answer a question, if they didn't follow the rules and within the realms of standards in which you put, you should really either A, look at your standards, or B, look at your skills to get them to follow. Does that make sense? So number one, I forward them to this and just see who I'm dealing with, right? Number two, what I do, and I'm always trying to this. Number two, I get into the finances. I hit the four different components of the financing component. You know, if they know the difference between pre-approval, pre-qualification, deposit, down payments, right, and closing costs. I hit those, right, and I just kind of briefly go through them, and then I refer them if they haven't gone already. Some people say they won't meet them until they meet a mortgage broker. I always meet them because I don't know if they're now or down the road, and depending on where you are, you can change. So I'm trying to cater this to newish agents and unexperienced to very experienced agents. Okay, so very experienced agents that have a very successful buyer business right now, you can put in that qualification saying, hey, meet my mortgage before you meet me. That's you have to make sure that they jump through your hoops first. So you have to have for them to jump through your hoops. What do you need? Hoops.
I have them meet usually after, but like after the first meeting.
Yeah, me too. One of the first questions I ask is, what have you done so far?
Yeah.
What have you done so far? Right? So at KW, what's the first thing in the Y4C2Ts? Or is seek first, understand, right? Oh, no. Is that the?
That's
is
a
it?
different thing.
Oh, that's what is it? Oh, is it? I thought you said communication. Seek first to understand.
Oh, yeah.
So, one of the first things I try to do is seek first, understand, because I want to get a baseline of where they're at. So everybody says, oh, I got a buyer, I'm just going to bring them to your process. You need to see where they are in the process, and then put them, and then fill them into where those steps are. Does that make sense? And especially, it's especially dangerous when they've worked with somebody else. Okay? There's a reason why, is because that person's put them through a process in which they think that's the process. Right? And if you're putting them through the same process, they're not going to want to work with you too. Does that make sense? You have to provide something different, a structure that's going to make them feel successful. I just closed the deal 2 months ago with a buyer, made 16 offers, 16 in 2 years. Right? With an out-of-town agent, was a friend of theirs. Okay?
That's fine.
16 offers, 2 showings. 2 showings
Oh, you.
for me. 2 showings,
You closed them?
6 houses, bought, got a buyer, a seller, and a referral. Okay? The thing they said on the very first showing was how different it was compared to working with the other realtor. And I'm going to tell you what the difference is when we talk about the showing. I'm just talking about the consultation with. So understand that you need a process. So I go to the forward, now we get to the finances, now we get to the needs analysis. The needs analysis, I know KW, what do you want, what do you like, what do you need, we've all done that. Okay? I'm not great, those are awesome. What else do you need to do in the needs analysis?
Make them be more realistic.
Yes? So it's
Funnel it, you have to.
so what happens is the needs analysis, there's 2 sides of the needs analysis. You have to understand that. It's what do you need to buy a house and what I need you to understand to buy a house. And that's the shift from willing to ready. Does that make sense?
So you go, you do this, and then you basically see, you assess how that resonates,
So
and
what?
establish on whether or not you think they actually are ready.
Right. Right? Because so your name? Sorry.
Katya.
Atya. I know I've met you a few times, Atya. I apologize.
No worries.
Atya. So
Katya.
Katya.
Katya. Oh, Katya. Katya. So it goes like, so you need a 3-bedroom home. Why is that important to you? We get into that, right?
Right.
Oh, and why? And why is having a 3-bedroom? Does it need to be an entire house or just the top floor? And why is that important to you? Well, the safety of my kids. Well, why is the safety of your kids? Because they're small. Well, I want to keep them alive and I want to make sure I'm not going to get into that because we've had a lot of training on we know the importance of digging deeper. At least 3 questions go deep down. Okay? However you do it is you can go, why is that important to you each time? So now you have a real good understanding of their motivation. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So now what do you do now? And here's the magic. This is where if you guys came for 5 minutes, came for this, you could leave after this. I'm just kidding.
That's good, I gotta go.
The magic really comes into where the needs analysis is what they need to know, right? So what I do is how I prepare is I do the heavy lift. I let the market do the heavy lifting. Does that make sense? So I said, what's your name, sir?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, nice. Jonathan, what do you know about the market so far? What have you heard?
It's booming.
Booming, fantastic. And where'd you get that information from?
Newspaper.
Newspaper, fantastic. You know where the newspaper gets all their information? Well, they get it from something what we call Market Watch. This is something, so all you're gonna see in Market Watch is, it's just numbers. And so in Toronto, most of the homes sell, the 90% of the homes sell on the multiple listing service, right? And what we're gonna do is, one of the things, you don't really know me, so when I make a recommendation or suggestions, what we're gonna do is gonna be based on, I'm gonna make sure that you know why I'm making those recommendations. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So it's not just it's just not my opinion, right? There's gonna be some factual data to do it. So I do two. I do that, and I do, and the green goes to IMS. So I just do IMS. I'm not sure why it's in black and white, but I do it in color. You guys know what IMS is?
No.
Do you guys have IMS stats?
I do that.
Okay, so I use IMS. It's just graphs. They're just a third-party graph that you get, and it kind of it gives you a 5-year analysis. I'm not sure if your office uses it, but I'm showing our.
Is IMS the name of the company that doesn't?
Yeah,
It's real stats.
it's real stats. Yeah.
So you're,
Or Chestnut Park?
From Geo Warehouse?
Chestnut Park? So I'm just trying to.
yeah,
Geo
so
Warehouse.
your broker would have to like request it, so we have it.
But I know, but what does it call it? What
Oh,
does the IMS stand for?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, but the
I
website
have
is like
stats for
Real Stats.
everything.
Real stats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real stats, okay.
So
Thank
Real
you.
stats for everything.
Yeah.
So we're a little tired. I just want to make sure I get through this, and then because I want to get to the showing process and some closing processes, so that you
And
guys
the
actually have
open
some, huh?
And the open house.
And the open
process.
houses process, so that I can really answer all your questions. So right now I do the heavy lifting, and I'm gonna speed up a little bit. So I'll say, hey, listen, I'll actually go through IMS stats. So I'll say, hey, so now where are you looking? You're looking for a detached home, right? I'm not sure if anybody has my buyer consult in there. You guys saw it there? On there's a page with a circle. Do you have a marker I can use? Oh,
Yeah, no.
okay. And I actually do this all the time. I do this at a coffee shop. I do it. Real estate is not rocket science. The reason I know this is because I wouldn't be in it if it was. Right? I always have a commentary about everything. So, right? Do you guys know what the 3 categories that affect real estate are?
Price.
Location, condition, price.
Perfect. You guys are experienced buyers. Because people will give me a lot of different things, and I'll break it down. So they always say location, 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 right? So what affects location?
Price.
School,
Transit.
shopping, transit,
Bad guys.
and niche markets, niche areas. Is that correct?
So-
If I'm in if I'm in Lawrence Park, if I'm in Bedford Park, if I'm, right? What's the other thing? The actual house itself, right? Size, type, shape, right? Condition, amenities, that also. And then last is budget, with dollar sign, right? Is it fixed versus flexible? Is that correct?
Yep.
Anybody who's been in my class, I do this all the time. So even Bill Gates, I change it around sometimes. Sometimes I use, depending on who I'm talking with, I'll say Donald Trump. Even the guy with ego, like with Donald Trump, as big as his ego could be, he can't buy the best location, the best house for $100,000 if he doesn't own it. He just asks how much it is. Does that make sense? And I'll do this. Like, see how I cover it up? And then I'll say, but if you're on a certain budget that you're working with, and you want a certain type of house, where can I get it? Right? And if I want a certain school district, and I have what can I get for it? Does that make sense? So now they have 3 questions. What can I get, where can I go, and what do I need to do for budget? That's my entire showing process right then and there. Does that make sense? So now what's happening is, what am I doing? I'm teaching them now what's happening in the market and how to be my client. I'm starting to, right? So if you tell me, so perfect, and I don't do any of the heavy lifting. You tell me you want to be in Lawrence Park and you want a detached home, right? In C4. Well, so right now, just off the summary, if you want to get into C4, right now, it's going to cost you $1.7 million. Right? And they're like, oh. No, right? And I said, but now you want to detach, that's all homes. What does the detached home get into? So now if you say, hey, listen, a detached home, that's in C4 where we are right now, is gonna be 2.1 million.
I have a question. Is that, sorry, I don't think I saw that booklet. Does that have, do you have that printout with you? Oh, you have a separate market watch basically for every month?
Yeah.
You just print
You
off
print the
every
market
month?
watch for every month to take a
No,
look?
I have it both on my
Except
computer
every quarter?
and here. Can I tell you why? Because if I'm working with somebody who's in the tech field, or I'm gonna do it on the computer.
Right.
I am not a techie. I need paper. I don't know why, it just makes more sense in paper for me. I can see it on the screen, you can flip it through, but if I have paper and I'm touching something, it makes me feel good. No, it does.
Oh, that's it.
So I just bring, and do I give it to them? I don't give it to them, so
It's just your reference. It's
Right.
like your little guidebook that you use.
anybody ever have failure with your computer?
Plus it's third-party validation, it's not you saying you
Yeah, yeah.
can't afford it, it's like, hey,
And it's also tangible. You guys, it's not, you think that it's not just the information that we give them, it's how we give it to them. If I've tried that little iPad thing where you show, people hate it. Like if I control the iPad and show them, no problem. If you give them a little iPad, they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? You ever go to a restaurant that has this little iPad, you're like, give me a menu.
Yes, I agree.
yeah.
This is, may I just, this is very broad strokes though, like even with the market
Yeah.
watch, right? Like, I live just north of the Junction Triangle.
Sure.
And in Carlton Village, there's wildly divergent. You
Perfect.
can get a semi
Hold on.
for 7 up to like,
Fantastic, great question. So I'm going to answer that right now. So I get that. So remember, we go from broad strokes to specific.
right.
So now it needs analysis. So can I get? So I'm going to say, do you really? And location is going to be the primary. There's two things that you need to focus on. Number one, you need to have a system for this, because everybody says I get a pre-approval. No problem. You guys all depend on that, right? Yes or no?
No.
Who here questions this? I always question it. So I will always have a couple of questions. Hey, is that the maximum you can afford? Well, I don't want to spend more. Is that the maximum you can afford? So one of the things here is stop being order takers, everybody. Okay? Do you go to the doctor says, well, what kind of treatment would you like? No, continue to think about this, because this is how we behave as realtors. Right? So I say, hey, listen, is that the maximum you can afford? I need you to go get a pre-approval. Well, I don't want to spend that. I always have a story why I don't. I say it's better to know where your choices are and pick where. I'm not going to push you to a price that you don't know where it is, but if there's alternative values, if there's something that offers better value, I want to make sure that I know that we have those options. So number one, not bad, eh? It wasn't mine. So right now, make sure you always get the maximum. Does that make sense? From there, once you get your maximum budget, work off their budget and work it on the computer. So I will go to the triangle, and then I will show them our system. I'll open it up for them. I'll draw a map. I'll say this is what's available, and can I show you something? This is what's sold. How long does that really take?
Nothing.
It takes 10 seconds, right? The only thing that you're gonna want to do is they go, oh, can I see that house? I'm gonna say, hey, listen, no, we can. What I want you to see is, do you see the price gap? It's about 100. It's like 200,000. It's about 6 to 8 or 8 to 1.2, right? That's what the list price. Can I show you what the solds are? Boom. And then what you do, so the prices are wild, right? You have the filters. Go into the type of home first, and then you'll find a range for attached rural towns. You'll find a range for detached homes. And what they're going to see is they're going to see a dollar value associated with it. So pick the dollar value that they want, and they get to see exactly what the attached home goes for. They go, that's garbage. I go, yeah. And somebody paid for that. Who does the heavy lifting? Does that make sense? So I actually go into MLS and I'll do this. Some people are going to say this takes too long. You can break it to a 2-step buyer consult too. You go, once I get I'll get once we get the pre-approval, then we can go to if you're tight on time, then you can go into a needs analysis all on its own, where you guys pick it out. Does that make sense? Does that help you getting more specific? So once they have that, so now you have, so they're identifying what they have, what they want, and if it's realistic. Then you have to handle this is where you handle your objections. I'm going to give you a really good objection handler. Are you ready for it? Right? I don't make the market, I only interpret it.
Yes.
You guys heard it before,
Yes.
right? Because this is where all this stuff comes in. Well, if I can't get it, I don't want to buy. Is this a good time to buy? Right? So I want to know if they are ready to buy in this market. Well, I don't want to compete. Hold on. Let's just get rid of all the objection handlers right now. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to deal with it quick, okay? Because we got like 20 minutes. Number one, is it the right time to buy? Is it the right time to buy? Yes or no?
Yes. 10 years ago.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say yes. I would say maybe. When a house gets appraised, there's two values. What are the two values of the appraisal?
What it is and what it could be.
So what the house is, sorry, not appraisal, the financing. They appraise the house and they appraise the person. So how can you say yes if you haven't appraised that person? Does that make sense? The market is the market. Is it a good time? Yes, for someone. No, for others.
So you're talking in terms of if they overbuy and then they'll be.
I don't care about overbuying. The price is the price. I don't make the market.
No, but
Yeah.
you're saying to have them look at themselves and decide.
Exactly. And I do this because I'm going to use this. You guys will understand this when I use this analogy. Who here has worked with an investor, didn't know anything about investment property, and they said, I have $1 million, and then you go out and look for an investment property? Who's done that? Put up your hand. Okay, so why I work with investors is because I don't do that. It's kind of saying like, hey, I have $1 million, go and look for a house for me. They have a wide variety option, right? Isn't that? Mm-hmm. That's what you're basically doing. So I don't know if it's good or bad. I go to an investor, I go, how much money do you have? You have $1 million, right? What's your expected rate of return? Well, I want a cap rate of 5%. It's not gonna. Okay, fantastic. Hold on, maybe. I want a cap rate of 5%. I have $1 million down. Perfect. Okay. I go. So that's what your expectation is. Boom. I qualified them. Can I show you what you're gonna get here? In Toronto, the average cap rate in the A area is anywhere between 3.25% to 3.5%. Right? It used to be, are you looking for cap rate or are you looking for rate of return? If you're looking for the rate of return right now, I know you can get between a 7 and 12% return. If it's a 20% down, you get 11% return on equity by itself. That means that there is no appreciation in there. If you're right now cash flow neutral in Toronto, you're going to need between probably 25 to 35% down, depending on the house, depending on how the house is structured. Right? Most of the homes in and around there, there's going to be about 3 or 4 different areas in which you can buy. It's going to range between 1.2 to 1.6 on the low end, right? And it's probably going to be a semi. It may or may not have parking, and it's right. And this, are you willing to buy? If I brought you this, can you buy it? Are you willing to buy that? It's not what you thought you want, but this is what it is. That's what you just did with the buyer here. They said no. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right? I need 5%. Perfect. So we're not looking in Toronto. Are we looking to? Can we go to Whitby? Right?
Who's living with?
Because in Whitby, no, hold on. Whitby's fantastic. Hold on. Wait. I need 30 seconds of your time because right. Whitby, you can get a triplex around 600 grand. You will get cash flow there,
Yeah.
but what you probably won't get you're not gonna get your bonus money, which is market appreciation.
Yeah.
I can't control market appreciation anyway, so it depends. Are you looking for a long-term play? Are you looking for a speculative play? Are you looking for? Do you guys see how the difference is? Now I know what you are. You said I want this. I said you can't have that because it's versus, this is the question here. Possible versus probable. anything's possible. What's the probability of getting them what they want on their terms here?
Unlikely.
Do you see how we are now closing the client even before they get there? Yes, do I spend a little bit extra time doing the consult? Absolutely. How long does it take to show one house?
Yeah.
Longer than consults.
Longer than a consult, for sure.
Lose a day.
Right? One house!
Yeah.
You have to prepare for it, you gotta book it, you gotta drive to it. The extra house doesn't really make a difference. You show one house, it's 30 minutes. You show two houses, it's 35 minutes. Because they're probably close together.
Yeah.
So the whole goal of this is to teach them three things. Are you guys ready for it?
Yeah.
Number one, the three things that you're teaching them, number one is knowing how to close themselves. Right?
How to
Analyze it.
Okay.
So because what happens is I'm showing, hey, listen, Nancy, I know you love the area. What do you think of the house?
Sucks.
It sucks? Okay, what on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think?
6.
6, okay. Awesome, that's no problem. What would make it an 8 or a 9?
Different schools.
Different school, so a different area.
Mhm.
Okay, so you want to be in Allenby.
Sure.
Perfect. So instead of Ledbury, you want to be in Allenby. Okay, do you want to be, do we have, sorry. Do you have room in your budget to move up 200,000 for the same house?
No.
You don't. Okay, are you willing to take a fixer-upper or a semi-detached to be in that school district? Perfect. So now, so the whole thing is you guys are all looking to close a home. I'm looking for them to make a buyer decision every time they go out. So number one, I just taught them the questions on how to make a buyer decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And who am I telling them it's possible or not?
No.
They're telling themselves.
They're telling them, right? Because we taught the whole question. Remember this pie?
Yeah.
And if you don't remember the pie, put it in your showing binder. Nancy, remember we talked about pie? I have it right here.
I like that.
And guess what, Nancy? I like it too. And you get to eat 2 pieces, just not the whole thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense, everybody? So now it teaches them to make a buying decision. Number 2, they are part and parcel of the filtering process, if you want them to be.
Now, most of the people that I work with,
Sure.
most of the buyers I work with,
Yes.
are very literate. They're market literate, they're on Realtor.ca,
Perfect.
they know what things are going for, so that a lot of that's already happened. It's more, I guess actually, no, they know the market. That's what you just did is what they need to do.
The buying decision process, right?
Yeah.
So Nancy, hey, listen, I just wanted to let you know that the roles of realtors have changed drastically over the years. I'm not sure if you know that. It used to be that we used to find a home. Can I tell you something? My job as your representative is to make sure that you make an informed decision. That's my job. Okay? You're actually just as likely to find a home online as me. Right?
Yeah.
So most realtors, what they will do is if they know that you're buying, they'll stick you in a car and start driving you around. And I work a little bit differently than glorified door openers.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's good.
I do. Okay. What I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, even though a lot of people know how to read, they don't know what they're reading. Does that make sense? So number one, you're seeing the homes, and I'm not sure how many homes you've purchased over your lifetime, maybe 2 or 3. That's what I do in a month, right? And it's ever changing. So depending on what's happening in the area, I'm going to tell you what's happening in the area. I'm going to talk a little bit about the layout. We're going to talk about a little bit of resale value, right? Because there's 2 values to the home. There's the financial and real estate value, which I'm going to help interpret with you, and then there is the lifestyle value.
Yeah.
They're equally important. And my job is to help just kind of guide you through that, right? To be a sounding board, both be a sounding board for you and to be an advisor. Does that make sense? And in doing so, I know by doing so, you're going to make a decision with your eyes wide open. And that's my goal here.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. Okay.
Perfect?
Perfect.
So now, do I care if I know more? If they know more than me? I don't care about market research. Everybody knows market research. I can self-diagnose myself online, doctor.com. Right? Can you not do that?
Yeah, but you'll have yourself seven berries, because
Right.
you always go to them.
So let me ask you a question, right? But why do I need you? Well, why do we need doctors? Well, you're not like a doctor. Well, I think I do. I think that one of the reasons why I think that buying a home is about your financial health. It could, if we make the wrong decision, it can severely affect your financial health. Wouldn't you agree? I don't know. Spending $1 million, I think, is a lot to me. So number one, we're teaching them how to do it. Number two, what we're going to do, the second question is from here, we're going to be, is to answer any of the objections right off the cuff. Because once they do this, they're going to say, oh, that's not what I want, why don't you like it, what's happening? So now the objections start to come up. So remember, objection is a question unanswered. I love objections. Yes?
So this is all great. I deal a lot with first-time buyers who are moving up from rentals.
Mm-hmm.
So they go, oh, well, I've got this great rental right now.
Fantastic.
And then I'd have to be more. So I usually I'm like, so how secure is it? Well, our landlord would never sell. Oh, really? I just had a blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And they sold, and then their new rent was $3,500, which is less, or which is more, sorry, than what,
So can I ask you a question? Sorry, your name is?
Yeah, Mia.
Mia, fantastic. So you're renting, you got great rent, right? Can I ask you a question? Right, even though it's great rent, okay? How much is that going to yourself? How much money do you ever get back? I'm just out of curiosity.
I don't know, but sure,
None.
None, right? You'll never get it.
Yeah.
Okay? And can I ask you a question? Do you plan on living in a house like the rest of your life? Eventually? So if I told you, I totally get it, and can I just kind of show you something? Your rents can do this, and they'll kind of go like this, slowly go up. Is that correct? Home ownership, even though it might cost you a little bit more, it does this. So after 20, 25 years, you're rent-free.
Plus, you got equity.
So that, huh?
I like that.
Isn't that true? Sorry guys, I deal with a lot of investors, so this one really helps me. Isn't that true? Perfect. Hey Mia, keep the great rent. Guess what? You're paying a mortgage, you're not renting. You know that, right?
Paying someone else's work.
And guess what? If you don't want to rent because you have such great, why don't we get you an investment property so somebody can offset your rents? You have money now. It's 1 or 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the worst case scenario, and can I tell you what the worst case scenario is? Eventually you're going to have cash flow. And the best case, right? And if you ever wanted a house, you have one. Right? In Whitby. Right? And I'll give you a really awesome objection handlers when dealing with investment property. But so you're dealing with the objection handlers, and then last but not least, now you got to show them, hey, listen, the third thing is how you work and how we're going to do this. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I do. You do not have to do this. So now that we know what your price and what you're looking for, we've answered some of your questions. The last thing that we need to kind of deal with is how I work. Right? And how I work is this, is that I'm not going to work, I always say, because I want to be different from everybody else. A lot of realtors will set you up on searches. What I'm going to do, and it's kind of like a doctor, you going to the doctor saying, this is what I want. I do this every day, and if I have a clear idea of what you're looking for, I can bring you to the exact home. And most of my buyers, buy a home within 1 to 2 outings with me. You want to see the best, and the reason they do that is because I show them best homes first. That's what you want, don't you? Wouldn't you agree that the best house sells first?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is, based on what I know, is I'm going to bring you to the best homes first. We're going to pick a date in which to go out to have an orientation tour. I may or may not let you buy a home that first day out, depending on where you are. Does that make sense? What do you mean I don't get to buy a house? Well, I just want to make sure that you're really understanding what value is. Right? So this is what happens. Instead of doing a trend search, what happens is I'll do a search. Now, you have to do, whether you have preview homes, you have to do all that stuff, you have to actually find the best homes first. Right? Typically, the best homes are holding back offers because they're underpriced anyways. Does that make sense? So you go there, you show these homes, 6, 7 homes, whatever it is. They say, no, I'm not buying any of these homes. Was there anything else? No problem. Let me send you a list. So I'll go 1 homes. They say, I hated all these homes. You tell me why you hated all these homes. You don't have to go out again. You go back to your office and you blast them all the homes that you went through. So I went through 76 homes. I vetted through 76 homes. Of the 76 homes, I thought these 15 homes were worthwhile taking a look at. Of the 15 homes, these were the 5 best that I want to show you. Here's the 76. I'll show you the emails that I write. They're like this long. And then they'll say, well, why didn't we see this homes? Oh, you wanted to back onto railroad tracks? Oh, you wanted to, I thought you wanted to be in Allenby. But there's a reason why you didn't pick those homes to show, correct? So now in an email, they'll be like, oh, now they're like, in their minds, what in the showing process, in the buyer consult, what you need to get out of their minds is there something better? That is the only question you need to get them out of their mind. Is there something better? So there's 2 questions you have to ask first. The first question is, are you ready to buy now? Right? I don't make the market. I don't interpret it. So in the 42 years that I've been here, my crystal ball has been broken. Been broken for 42 years. My crystal ball. And if I
Wait a minute, what did you just say? You've been doing this for 42 years?
No.
There's no freaking way.
no,
On this planet.
on this planet.
Oh, on this planet.
So in my 42 years on this planet, my crystal ball has been broken, right? So I can't predict the future.
Okay.
I've never, and if I could, I'd be on a beach somewhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're looking to purchase, you're looking to purchase now. Well, is this a great time to purchase? Well, what I can do is I can highlight why it's a great time, why other people are purchasing, why my other clients are purchasing right now. Right now, the interest rates have been as low as they've ever been. We've had 20 months of very stable, trends, right? It's about 20 months. It's been about August of 2017 till now. If you look at Market Watch, it's been very stable. We still have a population growth. There's no real sign of. So we can find all good reasons why right now why it's time to buy, right? And they'll be, well, are you sure? Oh, I said right now, I can show you from year to date. This is how many homes I've sold. Somebody's buying, right? There's 90 to 100,000 transactions every year, right? So somebody's buying. So I don't know if it's going to be good, bad, but well, I'm going to wait. What are you going to wait for? Right? Well, you can wait forever if you want. Does that make sense? So you don't want to get into, so the first question are they ready to buy now? That goes into motivation. Right? So once you dig into motivation, so they're ready to buy now, now you go into expectations and manage their expectations. And then last but not least, in managing expectations, you're showing them why you did what you did. And then you give them, and then you go, boom, no, boom, no, via email. And they say, can we see this? No problem. And you go see it, and it's a worse house than it was before. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, so what happens is that, so when you're done showing, you can be the buyer agent who says, have a standard in showing, this is prior to showing and getting prep for showings. I'm going to do the prep for showings. I'm going to ask. I'll give you a couple of closing scripts, and then I'm going to answer the open house. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Any questions so far? Are you guys? Is this okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh,
Yeah?
Great.
Very good.
Okay. So now I'm in my showings. Okay. So so right now you have a buyer consult. You've set the expectation. The last thing about the buyer consult, I always talk about the buyer agency. Okay. I say. As you can see, these forms have Ontario Real Estate Board and Toronto Real Estate Board. We are governed, just like doctors and lawyers, by I do this.
Good.
Why don't you say this? Are we not governed by a governmental body?
Yeah.
So by a buyer lawyer, just like doctors and lawyers, we have a code of ethics. And in my code of ethics, I have to tell you that here's different relationships. And what I do is I have a cancellation guarantee. Okay? I flip it around. A lot of people think that I don't like these buyer agencies. I tell them this because they think that it obligates you to me. Actually, right now I have 3 slots for buyers right now on my team that we can accommodate. And what it does is it obligates me to you. I know if I do a great job, I'll get 3 referrals. If I do, statistically, if I do a poor job, you're gonna be at the hair salon, you're gonna see that funny looking Asian who really screwed me in a real estate deal. And that's not what I want. So I'd rather part ways if it's not there, and that's why I have a cancellation guarantee. So that's why I don't really care about the buyer rep all that time. But what our standard is we can sign this now, but if you want, we can date before we get married. And what that means is that after we show, right, I'm just going to email this to you via a program where we have DocuSign, and you're going to sign it so that I can have it in my files. And you're going to sign the cancellation guarantee at the same time. You can take it to a lawyer just to make sure it's binding. So that's my whole line. And then I'll get emails. Tuan, can we go see this house? I'm so sorry I didn't email you back the buyer rep. It's okay, you can bring it with you. This one's for free. I'll say stuff like that. Do you see how that makes, they actually call it the high C's and S's, will call you and say, I'll get this to you, can we see this house? Does that make sense? So now I'm going into the house, oh, I wish I had it. I actually have a buyer binder, and in the binder, it's just a 3-ring binder, and it has 4 tabs on it. Homes viewed, open houses, service providers, and notes. I give them the binder. It is not digital.
Sorry, tell me again.
I have homes viewed, open houses, service providers, and notes or area info. It's a 3-ring. I wish I had brought it. Why do I give them a binder that is a dollar binder? Why?
Professional.
No, I can't tell you. We walk into a showing, a buyer walks out of the showing, they look at the binder. It also tells me who is the decision maker and what person. A person who is a high C, person at high S, they'll bring a binder. They don't care. The other reason why is because in that binder, when I show, I prepare, okay? Everything's about preparation. Every showing I have, I do a 3-month area sold. And I tell them this is what the area solds are. It's not comparables, it's area solds. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then, and if they're looking for certain schools or any pertinent information, I put it behind that listing as well. So there's 2 or 3 listings in one area. I'll do the area solds for those 2 or 3 listings, and then I'll put the address on top of area solds, and I'll put the address, and I'll just do it in writing. So what happens is that when they're looking to make a decision, they have their, once again, I'm more paper, I'm not digital. Right? People walking around with iPads, I'm just like, no, use paper. And they will flip through as they're driving. Does that make sense? And then on the first showing, I give them, because when they give it, it makes you more professional. Number 2, it gives them the information that they need to make a decision right away. They'll pass by, what did that house sell for? Oh, go into your thing. And they'll just flip by, and they'll see what's the area sold.
Do you put the actual listing, the sold listing in, or do you just put the
No,
address?
I do thumbnail.
Yeah, because I'm there, okay.
I do a thumbnail. I don't do just the one line because it's too much information without pictures.
Right.
So with a little picture, a synopsis, they're okay with that.
Okay.
And if you don't want, if you're in an area where it's a lot of sales, like 3 or 4 months, I'll do 2 months. I just want 1 to 2 pages, maximum
Per
area.
Oh, yeah.
Area.
Okay, so now I'm prepared, and so here's my listing spiel, and what I'll do is I'll 5 minutes. So my listings, my thing is that this. I'll tell them, this is the first home. I'm gonna do. I'm your first line of defense. Okay, as the first line of defense, what I'm here to do is I'm gonna talk a lot about the house. It's gonna be 5 major mechanicals, but I'm not a home inspector. That's what I tell them. And then I talk to them about the plumbing, the foundation, all this different things. I'll talk to them a little bit about the area, and then I'll ask them right out of the first home. So what happens is, as I'm pointing out, so you don't need to know all about this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to point them out to you. You don't have to actually memorize. I'll take care of the house. You have to make sure that the lifestyle fits you. And there's only 3 questions that you need to answer in any homes that we go show. And this is my thing. There's 3 questions. Here it is. This is how you make the clothes. 3 questions. Is the house large enough to fit your furniture or the furniture you want? Number 2, does the air... Okay? That's a size. Does the area and the layout work for you? And number 3, if we continue to look and this house sold at the price that you were willing to pay, would you be disappointed?
What's the last one?
If we continue to look and this house sold at the price that you were willing to pay, would you be disappointed? If you say yes to all 3 questions, those are homes that we are supposed to make offers on.
Is your furniture big enough?
Is the room or the size of, sorry, is the size of your home large enough to fit the furniture you have or the furniture you want? Number 2, does the layout and the area fit your needs, right? And number 3, do you see it? If you answer yes to all 3 questions, right? Those are homes we're supposed to be making offers on. So I'll ask 1, 2, 3, and then they'll go yes, yes, yes. Oh, perfect. Are we making an offer? No. Oh, why not? I'm confused. Well, I want to see more homes. Okay. What is it that this house? What is this house missing on a scale of 1 to 10? What is this house missing?
That's the layout.
Right? Are you willing to? And then, do you see how you make that deeper buyer connection? Am I telling to buy the house?
No.
No. Do you see? It's everything I do is process oriented to get them to the yes. Does that make sense? Last but not least, also when you're talking about the areas and doing all that stuff, this is when dealing with multiple offers. Okay, I just want to let you know you have to be a better negotiator during multiple offers than in a negotiation. I think a lot of people think in the past, oh, you just put in the best price and you just do it clean and you're good to go. Okay? It's not. Making sure that you are talking to the agent, building that relationship with that agent, making sure that you're asking pertinent questions. You can, if there's 3 rounds, you can have 6. Seriously. You can go in, present the offer, where are we standing, where you see, do you have an acceptable offer right now? You call them, hey listen, I know you're doing 2nd round, my guys are thinking of this, do you think this would do it? Where would that put us before you submit the offers? Like, there's a lot of ways of doing it. Okay? So remember, it's not just working with your clients to get them there, it's also learning what's going to happen, and also teaching them all the homes that they don't get sets the new benchmark for the next home.
Yeah.
Normally, yeah.
It's not the market as a whole, it's a house that you like, and you always keep that one benchmark. You understand? And what's going to happen is that they're going to find the next home is not going to be as good as this one in an up market. Right? You got to future pace them. So these are some of the closing strategies. I'm going to talk a little bit about open houses right now, and I'm going to stay back and answer any questions you guys have, okay? Because I apologize, we ran out a little bit of time. I'm trying to get as much as I can through the time that we have.
That's great. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just really
Keep going.
okay.
We could
So open house
have
conversions.
charged for you to come.
Yeah. Open house conversions. Okay. Right now, open house conversions. What are you guys doing right now on open houses, right?
What do you mean?
What are you doing? Are you engaging? Number 1. How are you engaging?
Asking questions?
Asking questions. Okay. What? Not just asking questions. Do you have any materials? What value do you bring?
Yeah, I take everything about the area, about the schools in the area.
That's right.
Other things that are available in the area. And I'll show them the competition.
Right. So there's the conversion is going to happen in three. There's going to be 3 things that you're going to need for it. Number 1, you're going to have to find a way. The first thing is to have a process on how to identify who you need to be talking to first. So have you ever been in an open house where there's 78 people coming through at one time?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my rules of open houses. You want to know my rules of open houses? I have 3 rules of open house. Sell the house. Number 1 rule is sell the house. You will truly mess up your chances with anybody by not selling the house.
That's funny.
You guys laugh. How many times have somebody, oh, lead. They're not going to buy this house because there's only a 3% chance of doing it, right?
Yeah.
So sell the house first, right? Number 2, ask for an appointment. Number 3, ask for permission to follow up. That's my 3 rules. Okay? So Come prepared, come with all your materials, marketing materials, all that stuff. Maybe a price to get more accurate information. How you get the information, I'm not gonna get there. There's so many different ways. What I'm gonna do is a conversion. Number one, number one is identify, have questions to identify. Oh, fantastic. Oh, welcome to, you know what, Nancy, thanks so much for coming. Oh, how did you find us? Oh, the signs. Oh, they're working then. Right? So are you on the open house tour today? What number are we? Have you seen anything that you like? Oh, fantastic. Listen, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Are you working with somebody right now? First question, right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Right? Well, and this is how I sell the house. But right now, can I tell you, as you're signing in, can I tell you a little bit about the house? And listen, can you get your name, number, and the name of your realtor if you have one? And that's what I say. Name, number, name of your realtor, and they'll fill it out. If you don't ask them, they don't know what to fill out. Okay? You might have an iPad. Can I fill it out for you? Right? Also, I want to build rapport. So if they don't fill out, I'm not a big guy. If they don't want to put in a name, it's like asking a person on a date who doesn't want to give you your name. It's okay. Next. Okay? But you go in, and then I'm gonna say boom. So right now we have a 3-bedroom semi-detached. Are you looking for a 3 or 4 bedroom? The price point is $999 right now. Is that the price point you're looking for, or is this a little bit higher? So by saying this, I'm selling the house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I'm qualified. By asking qualification questions, you're selling the house. Is it something you're interested in? The reason why you need to sell a house is because you go, hey, listen, this isn't the house for you right off the bat, right? They're going to be like, that could be a seller. If that's a seller looking to see what's happening in the house, this guy's not doing a great job selling the house. Does that make sense? You sell the house. Has anybody had a sister or a friend go into an open house? I've had clients send like family members in. I didn't know it was family members until after the fact.
Oh.
Friends and family. It does happen. Huh? Or that neighbor was a friend of theirs. It's gonna get bad. So sell the house. Number 2, attract them. So here's the key to the conversion. You ready for it? You guys can take it. You guys can destroy me and take all my leads. No problem. There's more than enough for everybody. Find out an issue that they have. Mia, so how long have you been looking?
About a year.
A year. Whoa! Have you been doing this on your own?
Yeah.
And can I ask you what's been the challenge right now?
Things, they just all seem out of reach.
I see.
I find them on Realtor.ca and then they sell for so much more.
Oh, listen. I feel you. My past clients have, I found that my past client has experienced the same thing. What I found has been is that, you know what? If I could show you a way to show you where the value that you're looking for, where the best values in the city is, and what you're looking for is, and could save you, thousands of dollars, would that be worth 30 minutes of your time? Yeah, it would be. So what I do for first-time home buyers is I do a buyer consultation. It's more of an information session, right? A needs analysis, and I always say people don't fail to plan, they plan to fail. And you can get one of two things here. Number one, you're going to get my professional expertise and what's going on in the market. Number two, what we can do is formulate a design a plan to find you that perfect home. So you may or may not be ready right now, right? And number three, you have to meet a new friend, right? Something like that, do you see? So by asking, hey listen, there's a reason why a buyer hasn't bought. If you find out, I am not seeing the value, houses are too expensive, multiple offers, whatever it is, right? Yes.
What about the classic, oh, I just started, I'm not looking to buy anything for like a year.
Fantastic! So right now you're looking for information, is that what I hear you say?
Yeah.
Awesome. So let me ask you a question. Instead of going to spending 3 or 4 weekends with it, if I can give you a condensed version of where the value and where that place is today, so you have something to compare it to, and do you think that would be worth 30 minutes of your time?
Yeah, but I'm still not looking to buy just yet.
Hey, listen, would you agree that knowledge is power?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So right now, do you want to self-diagnose going out, or would you like a professional like myself and my team to assist you on there? And if you have at the end of the day, you have a real estate contact and since I work in the area, that can give you that information. And not only MLS information, but off-market opportunities as well. Would you like to know about off-market opportunities as well? So you get the full picture instead of just half the picture.
Yeah.
Do we all have that off-market capability? Say yes.
Yes.
What's it called?
Broker.
Thank you. Does that help? So am I asking for clients, or I'm asking for objections? I want objections. So what you're doing, the conversion here, is you're looking for an objection, you're looking for an issue, and to answer because buyers, any service providers, is all they want is an answer to their question, a solution to their problem. So if you are the solution to their problem, or you have the answer to their question, that's the value, that's where the conversion is. It's very simple.
Do you, may I ask, at open houses, do you provide, like, you talked earlier about experiences too, right? Do
Yes.
you actually provide anything at your open
Yeah, I
houses,
have
other than like handouts?
Yeah, I absolutely do. Number one, the last one we had, we bought like 5 Google Minis, and we just put them on the table, and we say, for a draw. So
Yeah.
right, so it could be a draw for a Google Mini. We do first time when I'm an investor, I have the Millionaire Real Estate books. The first time, depending on the type of house, I have a book there. I have a giveaway, right? Or a sign up to our website. Hey, listen, if you want a little bit more information, I have a digital copy. Just sign up at our website, and we'll send you a digital copy, right? But really, the value for us is me answering the question. All the other stuff is gimmicks, right? Last but not least, have a quick follow-up system. And actually follow up. So the conversion is actually not there. You think that you can convert right there? I guarantee, who here has actually gotten an appointment at an open house? Put up your hand.
Yes,
Good.
You always do.
Good, I'm happy, because I used to do this class, and I'd be like, you can't do it. All you need to do is ask. If you ask, you'll get it. So half the conversion is asking, the other half of the conversion is the value that remember, when you ask for business, it's the natural progression of adding enough value. Anytime you feel sold to is because that person hasn't given you enough value in any industry. I don't know if I want this. Why? It didn't service all my needs. Right? I got the one for you. You could be a washer and dryer. This has turbo spin, super steam, all that stuff. And I'm going to give it to you at a discount. But it's only today. But we have, right? And honestly, I'm not going to sell it to you. If you want it, fantastic. I know I'm going to sell it one way or another. And they're like, I want it, save it for me. What do I need to put down, right? This is such a good deal. And anything that we buy, are you a good deal? So it just kind of starts with you. So I've gone over time. I really do. I apologize. Is there any specific questions that you guys want to answer that I need to address that I didn't address today?
When you follow up after open houses,
Yes.
what are you usually doing?
Oh, great question. My follow-up is typically, once again, it's the same three things. I'm trying to sell a house again. I'm trying to ask for an appointment again, and I'm ask for follow-up again. Okay? So, and some people, if you're really good, and you only had 1 or 2 people in your open house and you get an email, there's like programs like Bomb. I haven't done it. I've seen people do it, like Bomb, and you do a film, and it goes, thank you so much, Mia, for coming over. I really do. Listen, if you have any issues, just come to my website and do all that stuff, and then boom, you're gone, right? But the follow-up could be, I've done this in the past, when you have time, right? If you're on a slow, I did this in the beginning. I don't do this now because I'm a little bit more scheduled. I used to think, oh, how many homes? Hey, listen, there's about 7 different homes in around here. Instead of going with the general public, would you like to see the other 7 that's going on in and around the area? And after that, what we can do is sit down for 45 minutes for a quick, I used to do this. I don't do that anymore because I qualify more. But if you just want a quick consultation to say that I got an appointment, you can do that. But mine would be like, ring, ring. Just answer. I do everything real quick.
Hi, hello.
Mia?
Yeah.
Hi, Mia. It's Tuan Tran calling. Listen, you came to the open house at 123 Main Street. Just wanted to follow up. Did you like the home?
It wasn't quite what we were looking for.
Oh, okay. Listen, I'm just kind of looking for a little bit of feedback so I can get back to my sellers. What is it that you were looking for? What did you like? What didn't you like?
It was a little small, and I thought it was a little expensive.
Okay. What price? So it was listed at $899. What price range are you looking at right now?
550.
Hey, no problem.
Witty.
Yeah, 550. Hey, listen, absolutely. Are you looking for a home?
Yes, for.
And how long have you been doing that for? Just out of curiosity.
Just a month.
Just a month. Okay, so you're just trying to get to know what's happening in around there, and you're not quite seeing the value there.
No.
Okay, can I ask you a question? If I can show you where you can find 550 homes that suit your needs, would that be worth 30 minutes of your time?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, listen, and I do apologize. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Are you working with somebody right now?
We have been.
You have been. Okay, and so.
We haven't signed anything.
Hey, listen, I totally get it. Are you open for a second opinion right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Awesome.
hearing a bit of what you have to say.
Hey, listen, like I said, I'd love to apply that second opinion, and like I said, I'd love to apply for the job, okay?
Apply for the job, interesting. All right,
Okay.
let's do it.
So what works best for you, weekdays or weekends?
Weekends.
I do it. Sorry, guys. I do role play just because I think it's my role play is real play for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
When you said service providers, what service providers, like?
Lawyers, vendors, things that guys, your allied resources, because they may or may not use them, right? But I just give it to them just.
That's value.
Yeah, but that's just value.
So I appreciate that you're really focusing on the people that are ready, willing, and able.
Yes.
Because you want to sell the house.
Yes.
But what about the people that are great prospects, that are willing and able, but they're not ready, and they're saying, I'm not in a hurry, I'm thinking of downsizing in the next year or two, I want to see what's out there.
Okay, so it goes to motivation. So we're talking about motivation. How do you
Yeah.
motivate them? The first thing is a false. You can't motivate somebody who's not motivated.
Right.
I want you to understand that. So in terms of converting in terms of motivation is highlighting benefits and drawbacks. Okay? So hey, listen, your name? ma'am?
Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. Hey, Kat, and I never say no. Actually, here's the bonus. You guys ready for it? Put down yes and. Just put down yes and. I'm not sure if you guys were in my last course. I think I said the same thing. Yes and. This is how I handle all objection handlers. And practice it right now. Practice it on your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your cat, your dog. Yes and.
Yes.
On your kids.
Yes.
Okay? It is awesome. Because what happens is that
Yeah.
they're giving you an objection handler, right? So,
Yes.
hey Kathy, I totally understand where you're coming from. And can I just tell you right now, can I tell you why we might want to investigate that a little bit further right now?
Sure.
Sure, right? Do you know what's happening with the interest rates right now?
Yeah, I know that they're quite low.
They're quite low, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking to downsize, isn't it true, right?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna need to finance this property.
No, I absolutely understand that. So let me ask you a question. If in a year's time, if the value of your property was affected by maybe 100,000, 200,000, and you sold at that time, would you be disappointed?
Actually, for me, I don't wanna move until I'm ready, and it's going to be in the next year or so.
Oh, fantastic. And what needs to happen? What has to happen for you to move? What are you waiting on?
I need to find the right condo.
The right condo. So right now, finding the right condo is your issue right now?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? If I could show you where great value is out there, and we can kind of get that value now, all right? And make sure that, so you can guarantee a place. We can find that great value. Would that be worth 30 minutes of your time?
Sure.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Because what I want to do, and so I'm going, do you guys see there's a highlight there? Because if they're looking to downsize, price of their home, it's real money, right? What's going to affect price?
Interest rate.
Interest rate. I'm just going to ask them,
Right.
hey, listen, do you think interest rates are going to go up or down? What's a higher probability? They're pretty low now, right?
Yeah.
And do you know that a 1% change in interest rate will affect the value of your home by about 10%? Or it could?
Did you just make that up?
Nope, I'll show you the math behind it. Who here, if you guys, I'll show you the math. It's actually not the value, but it's affordability.
Right.
Oh, of course, okay, that's different.
Okay? And do this, here, I'll give you the test. I don't want to show it to you. Put $100,000, 3%, 25 years. It's $476.
I was gonna say 420.
Okay? Go 90,000, 4%, 25 years. It's $475. It's a $1 difference. It's basically the same, right? Is one better than the other? Wrong.
Well, wait, what, are you doing present value, present value it is?
I will tell you, there is a 28% difference.
You're doing that present value. You're just doing it
Huh?
back.
No. If you look at the equity buildup of the $476 or $475, you get 28%, I think 26 or 28% more equity buildup that first year at 100,000.
Versus 90.
Who here wants to challenge me on this?
So you're talking the price differential and what you get from it.
I'm talking about equity buildup. Let me ask you a question. Was that value to you? That,
Yeah.
Information?
Yes.
Yeah.
oh, who wants to work with an investment property with me right now? Like,
Yeah.
that 28% could be 100,000 in a year. Could it not, in equity buildup? What's the value in us is in learning to interpret and know and giving that value. You don't have to differentiate yourself from everybody, just the average. Yes.
Leading off of that, this is a good question. I have a buyer consult coming up with a friend. She and her husband can't decide, they're renters, can't decide whether to get into the market or use their huge down payment to invest. They're renting.
Right.
So I want to go prepared for that. What would you say would be the best way?
I don't answer difficult questions.
I'm worried that she said they want to take what I'm doing or what I tell them and then go to their investment guy. And of course he's going to say,
Okay.
no, invest.
Simple, very simple, very simple.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? When you're buying, I'm going to ask 3 questions for you, okay? And based on what you say, I'm going to give you because you know, prescription before diagnosis is malpractice, right? So let's do that. See, I got a little one. Those one-liners are non-money. Anybody who's been to KW, you've heard this 1,000 times. But you know the difference between me and everybody else, or the average? I implement. Why does it roll off my tongue? Because I memorized it. I heard it, I memorized it. Because somebody else really good did it.
Yes. That's it.
That's all,
Practice.
right?
It's scripting.
So can I ask you guys all a question right now? Am I scripted?
No, well, you are, but you.
Yes.
You don't sound.
100%.
100%
So well
nothing
that it's
is
part of your conversation.
memorized. The reason why you don't think so is what's number 2? Internalize.
Memorize, internalize.
And then
And
customize.
then customize.
So I customize everything from investment because that's what I do, right? Because who do I want to attract? Investors. Because investors, and I'll tell you my story afterwards if you wanted to stay back and hear it. So when you're the 3 questions is can I ask you a question? What's the purpose of buying and selling? Like why do you want to buy a home and why now? Right? Is it a lifestyle buy or is it an investment buy? And if it is an investment decision, can I show you what the rates of returns could be? Right? And I don't know what your investment is going to buy. I'm not an investment specialist in that. What I know is real estate, and I know it's worked for lots of my clients and made them tons of money. So I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to tell you what some of the benefits are with respect to doing it as a real estate investment, with the added bonus of some life having it as your home.
And not paying someone else's mortgage.
Well, you know what? Like I said, what I'm going to say, I mean, a lot of people say good or bad. What I'm going to show you is just what it is. It's going to be up to you to determine if it's good or bad. Is that cool?
Sure.
Done. And then I'll do the math for you. If anybody wants to stay back, I'll do the math. I failed like grade 6 math like 6 times.
I wanna see the math.
Yeah, no problem.
Will you show me the math? 'Cause
Here we go, I just extended my.
I will do math for you, anybody who wants to talk about a little bit about the investment components. And this is my gift to you for being late. And we're about 23 minutes over time right now. Is there any other questions before I get into that stuff? No? Yes? Maybe? Did you guys understand the words coming out of my mouth, or was it too fast?
Fabulous. Thank you.
So I'm gonna stay back, you ask, and I'll do the math for investment properties, okay?
Can you do the math line just again really quick where you said 100 versus 90?
Yeah.
that you had?
I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay.
Okay, and,
Rapper, come around here, come on, come on.
okay.
Let's see how, so I use this called the Canadian Mortgage app,
Okay.
okay? I use something called the Canadian Mortgage
I have
app.
to do some shit stuff.
Watch this. I'm gonna do a home purchase price of 100,000. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I have 0 down payment, so I'm financing all. I'm just doing it straight out, okay? I'm doing 25 years as amortization, and I was slightly off. It's 3%. Nancy, I'm gonna get Nancy to verify for everybody. Is that cool?
Yes.
So Nancy, what does that say? 400?
474.21.
So yeah, I thought it was 476, but it's 474.
That's 3%.
At 3%. What am I financing? 100 grand.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
473.25.
Okay. So watch this. I'm gonna go to 4%, which is a 1% increase. Is that correct?
Mhm.
And I said it was 10% in financing, right? So 90,000. So that's a 10% change, yes?
Mhm.
Nancy,
Yes,
does that say 90,000?
it does.
Does that say 4%?
It does.
Does it say 25 years?
It does.
What's the monthly payment?
475.05.
So we're less than $1 apart,
5%.
okay? Hold on. So it's exact same payments, yes?
Yes.
Okay, watch this. Nancy, in year 1, what's the principal pay down?
Sorry, $2,140.
$2,140.
Is that scenario 2?
Huh? That scenario at 90,000.
Okay, sorry, what was the principal pay down?
Sorry, 2,140.
2140.
Okay.
Everybody got that, yes?
Yeah.
Where does he get that? 'Cause I don't know.
Are you using,
So at 9, so
No.
first of all, do we all agree that was the same monthly payments?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the year 1 principal pay down is?
2,728, so you're taking a lot more off.
So so hold on. Now watch this. So 2,728
Mhm.
take away 2,140 is $555 more in equity buildup, yes? Over the 2140, is that correct? 588 divided over 2140 is 27.4%. Sorry guys, I lost the bet. I said 28.
What's the app that you're using?
I was off by point.
Canadian mortgage.
Canadian mortgages.
Like, was it an app or website?
So can I tell you something, Nancy? I know prices are high. Take care. Do you think that prices, that interest rates are more likely to go up than down?
I actually think they might go down a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
But ultimately, yes.
Yeah, there's
Long
no,
term.
right? Can I ask you a question? And if they go down and you're on a variable mortgage, it depends on the term that you can. You can take advantage. So wouldn't it be great to take advantage or right? Do we know what's happening in price points right now?
In price points?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, right? In the long term, but what right now as we're seeing, we've had a balanced market for about 20 months, and in the great areas, they're still climbing slightly.
Okay.
So why don't we do this, Nancy? Do you think it would be a great idea to lock in the value of the interest rates right now?
Mhm.
Because you're getting 28% more value.
Yeah, that makes
And let me
sense.
ask you a question, and if prices are gonna go down, what do you think, why do you think prices would go down?
Because the rates have gone up.
Rents will go up, right? Yeah.
So you might,
So-
you're gonna lose if you.
You're gonna lose either way.
Yeah. Cool.
So do you think it's a good idea to at least investigate looking at a property right now or upsizing?
Yeah.
So if you're looking at an upsizer, right? Just say, hey, listen, do you think it'd be better to finance now at a lower interest rate?
Yeah.
And if prices go up, imagine this, if prices go up, you're gonna be financing more. If prices go down, you're gonna be paying a higher interest rate.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to sell now.
Mhm. Good. You're good.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful, but I have to.
No problem. Anything else?
I appreciate it.
Email address.
Huh? My email address is tuantran.kw@gmail.com.
Spell that.
I'm sure we can
T-U-
Google you.
Huh?
I'm sure we can Google you.
Yeah, TUANTRAN.KW@gmail.com. I'm just gonna let you guys know, like I said, this is what I am not a guru by any means. I am just the average realtor, just like you guys. These are some of the best practices that I put into practice, right? And understand that there's a lot of things that I've told you that I've done in the past that I don't do any now, and I should be doing. And if you put into practice, you will have that success. Yes.
I have a question. The binder that you were talking about,
Yes.
do you control that? Do you bring it each time you do a showing?
No,
Okay.
I give it to you.
But you give them inserts every time you come.
I give them the insert. I hole punch and give them the inserts.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have my little KW folder,
Yeah.
right? And they have their little 3-ring binder, and they're like, trust me. And then this is what I do when I'm showing with them. So I ask those 3 questions. I have 2 closing scripts. You guys heard the first one, right? In the house, there's no perfect house out there. Right, so your name again?
Robin.
Robin, one of the things, as we go look at a home, there's a couple of questions that I need to ask you, right? So you only have 3 questions as we're going through. But here's the other thing, and if you give me a little bit of objection, Robin, you understand that there's no perfect house out there, right? For me, if the house has three of the top 5 things you're looking for, or 3 of the top 5 stars, or whatever it is, right? Those are homes we should consider making offers on. If it has 4 of the top 5 things that you're looking for, we should definitely be making competitive offers, right? And if it has 5 of the top 5 things you're looking for, I'm not sure why you haven't bought it yet.
Yeah, you gotta buy it.
Okay?
Yeah, correct.
So, Robin, normally when somebody says that they're not sure, that there's a question there that you're not sure. So can I ask you, what is it that you're not telling me that I can kind of help you? Or do you just need some time to think about this and process it? And please understand that I'm not trying to sell it. I don't ever put any pressure. That's not my style. But as a consultant, I would be failing in my job if I didn't tell you, right, that there is a pressure with time. So if we wait a little bit, it gives somebody else an opportunity to put in another offer. It gives somebody an opportunity to take it, and I just want to make sure that you knew about all the risks in that decision. So by preparing, now hold on. Do you see by phrasing it in a question form, it's not aggressive.
Right.
It is informative. So you are truly acting as a consultant. Understand all these somehow, somewhere in the worldwide internet, all this stuff, everything I've said has been spewed somewhere, right? And I'll tell you, people always ask me where did I get the scripts. I have no idea. I'm positive they were in a book, in a course, or talking to another realtor, right? And so you guys are gonna ask me, so this is what I'm gonna suggest. Was there one script that you really, really liked today? Write it down and use it tomorrow, or use it today. I think a really good one is yes and. Give me any objection. Yes and, I totally agree and, I get where you're coming from and, I understand and.
That's good.
It's very bold.
That's an improv technique.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they do in improv.
Yeah, never say no, keep it
And it
going.
just keeps it going.
Hold on, but does it, when I say, Kathy and, I get it and, do you feel heard? More so that, no, that's not right.
Yes, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or yes, but.
Yeah.
No, right.
So I don't know where anything's come from. I'm not that smart. I just I took it
You
from
have good
somewhere.
memory.
No, it's not memory. It's practice.
Yeah.
I'll use the last analogy for in terms of a success principle. Has there ever been a person where you know that you forgot their name? Why did you forget their names, even if it's a common name? Because you don't see them very often. Do you have friends that have very unique names?
One.
And why do you remember? Because you use it more often. So if you want to be successful, you can have smart bookshelf, or you can take something from this class and implement it right away. I'll leave you with that.
Oh, thank you.